go. For those who are going to miss it afterwards. Stephanie, this one is yours.
This one's mine? Okay. It says, if you win the morning, you win the day, by Tim Ferriss. Or Ferry. No, okay. Yay! You want me to tell you what that means to me?
Go for it.
No, it just means start the day out. We always talk about this.
It's Stacie's new market center.
You heard?
Van and Stacie.
Yeah, 1 second. I have someone in the background.
There, you're not muted.
Hold on.
Yeah, just what she said.
Go for it. Yes, Stephanie.
Okay.
Carry on.
Yeah. Just start the day off powerfully. How you start the day is how you win the day, right? Your miracle mornings, your meditation, right? Your reading the book, reading your affirmations, whatever it is for you, exercising, whatever it is for you to get the day started and to start off powerfully is how you'll win the day. That's
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks, Stephanie. That's why every morning at 7 a.m., led by Michelle Brown out of the South Bay office, she's doing a both virtually and in person miracle morning. So that's how you start. And Halley, resistance is a huge indicator that you are on the right path.
Thank you, Meny. Yes. Did you color it in blue on purpose? I feel like resistance is a good word for us this week. You know, to be able to think about that it's a huge indicator that you're on the right path. You know, we go through our goals and the things that we have set, and we feel like resistance can be such a negative thing, that the right path should be an easy path. When in reality, that resistance trains us as if we're working out, you know, like those resistant bands that we use. It flexes each one of those muscles that we have in our life and in our mindset. So great, good one.
Thanks, Halley. We're going to hear in a couple of minutes from Stacie States, Original, and Van States, who's a huge producer. They can kind of maybe add some mindset into that. Shout out to a few of our cappers out there. Most recently, Farrell out of the Calabasas office. Big congrats. One deal and she capped. That was, by the way, a lease client that she followed up with and turned into a buyer, a big buyer. Farrell, you rock. Good job. And David Shemesh, who's been consistently a top producing luxury and a capper for the past at least 10 years. Sent in just a couple of months and he nailed it. So congrats, David and team. Shout out to our teams out there. This is the month of May. All the producers of the West Side office keeps growing over here in the West Side. Shout out to you guys. Congratulations, commercial and residential. Good month over here and just keep it up. Calabasas, you guys rock. More and more agents are producing. Stephanie, great work. Bring the team, existing agents, and more talent who joins us on each month. And Coastal, just unstoppable as well. Great work, guys. Halley, the team, congrats. Clap yourself out there, guys. Well done. Good months and good projection ahead as well. Welcome to our offices. Halley, Long Beach.
Yeah, absolutely. So last month was a great month for us, bringing people into our family. We want to welcome Jay, who's here in person. Yeah.
Okay.
Jay actually used to be with Keller Williams. He came back to us from Fathom. He's also a good friend of Robin's. So Eileen, she's on the call as well. Congrats, Eileen. She's a new licensee. Crystal, we welcome you. Crystal Allen, I think she's here, but she's working with Richard Sperling here in the office. Gabriel Guerrero, he is joining, and Art Morgan are both joining the David Green team with Lindsay Iskerka. So I'm very excited about that. And David Etheridge, we welcome David. I don't know if he's in here today, but he's working with the Shannon Jones team. So congratulations, all of you. We're so happy to have you a part of our family. Welcome, and looking forward to helping you grow your business.
Good job. Congrats, everybody. Welcome back, David. It was good to see you for a minute. Calabasas, Stephanie.
In the last week, we brought Adinia Consuega.
Welcome.
she's awesome. She comes from a construction background as well. So she's looking forward to, just combining all that knowledge and those efforts into building her business. And she's already being mentored by our amazing Eileen Rodriguez. So welcome, Eugenia.
Welcome, thank you. And here in Westside, we have Nazi, who joined recently. She's part of a team in the Brentwood area over here in our office, and Sharon, who joined. She's licensed in 3 different states, and she also joined Brielle's team over here, and they're already on a mission. So welcome, guys. Good to see you. Up next, we have our guest for this meeting, Stacie States, who some of you met in person or so online recently. She's our new 2 regions, regional director, the West Side and the coastal regions. Great pleasure to have you, Stacie, and Van States Front Porch Properties. I have a question for you about that name. Pretty awesome. He's a top producing team. And Stacie, start with you. Unmute yourself, please. Good to have you. Good to see you. Stacie, by the way, she's over 15 years in the KW system, part of the family. She was a producing agent, then an ATL, then a team leader of one of the most successful offices in the nation out in Boise. And as of recently, the last few months, the regional director of 2 of our regions in Southern California. So welcome. Good to have you, Stacie.
Thank you so much. I don't know if it's possible. Do you want to unshare that? And then can you pin me and Van?
Yeah, so you just need to, Van, if you can just unmute yourself, and then we can see you now both on the screen and hear you.
Perfect. Both. All right, so I will start. Thank you for the nice introduction, Meny. My name is Stacie States. If I haven't had the chance to meet you, I look forward to that opportunity. I guess first off, I just want to give you a quick rundown. Meny gave you a little bit of insight. Prior to getting into real estate, I graduated from Boise State with a couple business degrees, and I fought fires for the Bureau of Land Management for 5 years. And I was sleeping on the ground all summer long and going, is this what my life is going to be like? And I decided I need to make a change. My dad actually got into real estate the year before, and he was having great success. And, in real estate, you have those moments where you go, okay, if they can do it, I can do it. So I figured if my dad can do it, I certainly can. I had no prior plans to getting into real estate, but I became Rookie of the Year, sold real estate all in total about 6 years. And then the other 10 years of my time with Keller Williams has been in leadership, 7 years as a team leader and ATL. And then 4 years as an ATL. So I've been on both sides of the Keller Williams business, and was lucky enough 10 years ago to get into a relationship with my husband and business partner, Van, and he's going to talk here shortly. I was told by my regional director when I started as a team leader that it was my job to grow the offices to deepen the dating pool at Keller Williams so that you can find your partner. And we are a success story of that. So if you are single, Keller Williams is a great place to find your partner. Because there is just something to be said about the mindset, the education, the learning, everything that we do. I always tell people when they're thinking about joining Keller Williams that I promise you, if you join Keller Williams, you plug in, you take and you extract the value from us, your legacy, your family tree can be changed forever. And I've seen that over and over again. People who come in $100,000 in debt, learn the systems, sell real estate. Next thing you know, they own an investment property. They own their own personal residence, and then they have a net worth of over $1 million. I mean, there are just so many things that you can extract from this company, which is why I'm so passionate about it. And to have the opportunity to be the regional director for Westside and Coastal is a true honor. I want us to play as a team. So we're going to be doing a lot of stuff together. And I really just want to set a vision for, number one, you may not even know what a regional director is. So it is my job to support your offices, your OPs, your team leaders, your office staff. It's my job to support them so that they are providing you the best experience possible, and that they're growing so that they're helping more people make, have that opportunity. And then you probably don't know that there's something called a divisional leader. And a divisional leader is the liaison between me and Keller Williams International. And our divisional leader in our area is Jonathan Dupree. And Jonathan comes from a wide background of having his own independent company, being with Keller Williams. He was at EXP for a period of time. He worked directly for Gary Keller for 2 years. He is now the regional director in the Southwest region, and then he's our divisional leader. So not only do you have me that is here to support your offices, but you have Jonathan and then a direct line to Keller Williams International. It's also exciting to know that the president of Keller Williams International, Mark King, started out, you guys, as an agent, a rookie agent. So what's nice about this company is that there is no ceiling on your achievement. There is no ceiling on what you can accomplish. If you're sitting in that chair as a rookie agent and you go, I want to be Halley someday, I want to be Meny, I want to, lead the charge, or I want to someday be a regional director, like that path is available to you. And we want to help you get whatever you want to get. Also, I would love to bring more value in the way of what differentiates Keller Williams Realty from every other real estate company, and then help make sure that you have a local twist on that. So we are going to talk about that with Van a little bit today, but I want to make sure that you guys know all the tools that Keller Williams has to offer to you and how that sets you apart from the rest of the competition. And then number 2, I also want to bring very valuable education. So I have a lot of connections across the country, and it would be my goal that we would bring in, whether it's through Zoom or whether it's in person, as we start really getting the groups back together, top agents from around the country that can teach you, everything that you would want to know. So if you have those things that you have a burning desire to learn, or you have a burning desire to learn more about leadership, please talk with your team leader, because we want to do everything that we can to clear the path for you to become the person that you want to become. So that's a little bit about like the regional perspective. And I can't wait to gain relationships with you guys. Is there anything else, Meny, that you wanted me to specifically cover before I introduce the love of my life?
On the show, Cadabro singles, right? Or whatever you want to call that. That's another division.
Yes.
No, I think you covered that, and I think that your presence and your energy and your integrity and track record speaks, volume by itself. And we're very excited to have you. And I appreciate the explanation of what's your role, so agents will understand. We are a big company, so sometimes people get confused. So for you guys to understand the value of how we function for your benefit, right?
Yep.
So. Van, you're up next.
Great.
Awesome. So I asked my husband to come onto this meeting. I would say that I've been doing this for 16 years. Van has been in the business almost 22 years. Both of us have only ever been with Keller Williams Realty. And we are all in on the value that Keller Williams has to offer. And neither of us have seen a need to go anywhere else. And now he's not allowed to, obviously. He's officially handcuffed to me. But I will tell you that I've never met a better real estate agent in my entire career of doing this. And so I asked him to come on, and we prepared a couple things that I'd love for him to share with you.
Thank you.
So Van, you want to just give him a quick bio on your history in real estate, and then I'll dive into our questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Meny, for having me. My background, I was a surface warfare officer in the Navy. I did spend 4 years in San Diego. I spent a month in Long Beach, East Coast overseas, back to San Diego, landed in Boise with Keller Williams. I always tell people I joined Keller Williams by accident because the one person I knew in real estate said I should go there. But I've stayed here on purpose. I've looked at other options. I've had my broker's license for a dozen years, could do our own thing. and just realize there's so much value here. There's no reason to be anywhere else.
That's awesome. So, one of the things that I wanted Van to share with you is, number one, Van lives by a motto that he doesn't like to be told what to do. And I imagine if you got into real estate, you might be a little bit of that type of personality, right? You're like, I had a corporate job and then they were telling me what to do and I didn't want to be told what to do anymore. So he has that lens of nobody can put him in a box. He also has the lens of, I've never met anyone that is so likable. And one of the things that makes him such a great real estate agent is that he is so likable. The con side to that can be, you know, he's not going to ever be a cold caller. He's not going to be the person who dials 100 calls a day. That's not going to be how he builds his business. And so I wanted to invite him on to talk about how he built his business through referral. They do about 100 homes a year. You know, I think this year, would you say you're going to hit 40 million in volume or?
Yeah, we're already at closed and pending at 32 million. So we should be pushing, you know, 50 plus million and probably 110 to 120 units.
Yeah. So, and he did that all by not picking up the phone and making cold calls. So there are lots of different ways that you could do that business, but I thought this would be super relatable. So Van, why don't you talk about, you know, what are the different ways that you've gained those relationships and how have you turned that into, you know, a lifestyle for you?
Yeah, thank you. Well, first of all, I think it's important that we get good at what we're doing, right? So we know our market, we know our contracts, we know how to do our presentations if we're talking to buyers, sellers, investors, other realtors. So work on your skills and get good at what you're doing. If there's an area where we're lacking, KW has all the resources to get you up to speed in those areas. So take stock of, hey, where we're at, where can I get better, and continue to hone your craft. Because you tell people you want to be a resource for them, be a good resource. So we do spend a lot of time working on that and getting good at what realtors should be good at. I built my business, like Stacie said. I didn't ever want to door knock. I'm not a big fan of locking myself in the office for 3 or 4 hours and cold calling and dialing for dollars. But I have built a real successful business around relationships. You know, our success as realtors depend on how many people out there that when they think of real estate, they think of you. And how do we do that? So it's by staying in touch with people, touching them. 33 touch system that Keller Williams gives us. It's a simple program. You can use command. There's other systems to use, but stay in touch with them to say, hey, I'm your resource for the Boise area, LA area, West Side, Long Beach. When they think of real estate, you want them to think of you. I've also figured out a way, how can I do the things that I enjoy doing so that I don't have to do the things I don't like doing? I played soccer in college. I played soccer my whole life as an adult. I play softball, beer league softball, and just relationships with those different teams I've been on, the friends and families of those teams. We've gotten a ton of referrals, a ton of business from those groups just by being out, meeting people and being in relationships with people, doing things I like to do. Also, as former military, we're involved with Mission 43, which is a veteran and spouse huge net they cast for education, employment, networking. So we support them and became their exclusive real estate resource. We love to give back. They do tons of different events, tons of them. We're always there. We always support those because that's what we want to do. There's a few of my team members that are military as well. And we enjoy doing that, and a ton of business comes from it.
Awesome. You summed it up perfectly. So think about what you did. Another layer to this is think about what you did previously to real estate and what made you really good at that. And then apply those same principles to your new real estate career. So, you know, what Van brings to the table is, you know, this long-standing military background. Those are things that he can bring to the table that make him really good at real estate, right? So think about that layer, and then think about, I love how he always figured out what does he want to do to have fun, because that's what matters to him, is that he's having fun. And then he's never shied away from, once he's in relationship with those people, to talk with them about real estate. Also, Van, as far as your guys' 33 touch, or now they call it a 36 touch, what are you guys sending out to your people? What are you inviting them to do? Just really quickly, what are the few things you're doing to stay in touch with people?
Yeah, so we have a minor league baseball team here. So we rent out a giant porch area and we have a big client appreciation party at the game, and they do fireworks and stuff. We have movie night where we'll rent out an entire movie theater and have a client appreciation party there. We've got a captive audience, greet them on the way in, give them a spiel, greet them on the way out, and it's quick and easy and pretty cost effective to get a couple hundred people in a room. We sponsor a lot of the happy hours and things for Mission 43. We sponsor a couple races. We do just a lot of client and community events. One of my agents, a former school teacher, her teaching is her passion, and half of what we do as realtors is educate our clients. So she likes the hops, so she created a program modeled after another Keller Williams agent doing it really successfully back east, called Hops and Homes. And the first Tuesday of every month, she has a happy hour seminar with first-time buyers, investors, and we get those people captive in a room, and instead of presenting to one potential buyer at a time, she's got 12 or 15 at a time. So a lot of the different things you can incorporate with what you like to do and turn it into business opportunities.
I love it. And then just on top of that, they do an email newsletter that they send out, and then they do a postcard out to their sphere of influence once a month, all very affordable.
Yep. And I have Sarah, my operations manager, Sarah Lett. She's fantastic. She does a ton of social media for us. So Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest. And we get a lot of business. We just listed and sold a $1.3 million property. The people found us on social media and liked our marketing. So that was all thanks to her, from stuff that was basically free to do.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so lastly, like I said, one of my goals as the region is to bring forward what Keller Williams brings to the table that differentiates us from every other company. And one of those things you may or may not heard of is called Keller Mortgage. And it's probably been about 5 years ago now that Gary Keller bought a bank. He created a company called Keller Mortgage, and he brought forward something exclusive to Keller Williams agents. No one else can use this outside of our sphere of influence, or if we help a cross agent use it, called the 0+ loan. So what I wanted Van to talk about is we have a very solid local relationship with a lender. You should have very solid vendor relationships. That's part of your team that you put together, right? But there's also an opportunity from time to time to use some of these tools that Keller Williams has that differentiates us from everybody else. So Van, can you just quickly share how you've kept your vendor-lender relationship, and then when you've used Keller Mortgage and what your experience is?
Yeah, absolutely. And we've been primarily using the same local lender here for close to 12 years. Great guy, great service. I also know I'm not the only realtor he does business with. So he gets that we may do business with other lenders, and that's fine. And usually we'll recommend, hey, check Keller Mortgage, check your local professional. If you don't have one, we do. And let them shop, because one of the reasons Gary created the mortgage company was not just to create a bank and do mortgage business, was how can he help support the agents in the market? How can he help those agents protect their commissions on deals? And if we can we just closed a $600,000 loan with Keller Mortgage, no origination fee, no upfront loan costs, no doc prep, no underwriting, none of those upfront loan costs, and $1,000 credit at closing for any deal over $150,000, which I'm guessing most of your mortgages will be. So in that case, it saved my client about $8,000. And of course, he's happy to use me. He's happy to make sure I get a full fee, because we're able to connect him there and save him that much money. So it's just another tool. I always let our clients know we don't get any credit, we don't get any kickbacks. It's just an opportunity for them if they want to look at it. And it has saved our clients. And in fact, Stacie and I refinanced our cabin and a triplex and used Keller Mortgage recently, and really smooth, great experience.
Yeah, and just so you know, their loan amount limit is $3 million. So there is a lot of real estate that you guys can sell that is going to qualify for that. I'm committed to finding some great LA area loan officers for you. So I'll get that information out to your team leaders, but definitely something else that you can plug into that, like Van's saying, you can keep those great long-term relationships, but there could, from time to time, it makes more sense for them to use Keller Mortgage. Anything else you wanted to add?
Not on that. I did want to give a quick shout out to Denise Marks in Calabasas. She sent me a luxury buyer referral, and we're closing on Monday. So thanks again.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah, and yeah, everyone's moving to Boise, so if you need anybody, Van's your guy.
Yeah, and she put it on the chat as well. Van is awesome and very professional. You rock. So thanks, Denise, for sharing that as well.
Thank you.
So Stacie and Van, thank you. One thing I will kind of point out, by the way, two things. Number one is that as appropriate to ex-military, he doesn't like to be told what to do. So that makes total sense.
Yep.
And the second thing is just notice, guys, whoever is on the meeting, over 90 people, that Van is practicing relationship 101 and super successful. And by the way, you say, oh, we have agents doing 30, 40 mil, whatever. Well, their price point is a little bit smaller than what we have over here, the average sales price. So that's a big deal, just for you to understand. But the practice is relationship 101. That's why it probably will take time, if it will happen that the Zillows or whatever will replace us agents. So keep up the relationship. COVID, no COVID, it's coming back.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was going to say what Gary Keller talked about too, was if you had 300 people that when they think of real estate, they think of you and they might use you or might refer you somebody, 1 out of 10 of those should be either a deal or a referral each year. So you're going, hey, if I just had 300 people that I'm regularly sending a note to, sending an email to, sending a postcard or email newsletter to, that should be 30 deals a year just from that group of people. So stay in touch with them.
Yeah, absolutely. And Van's, like I said, he's not out there cold calling. He's just bringing value. Like you said in the beginning, you have to be a great real estate agent first, because if you get an opportunity to work with someone and you don't give great service and you don't give great advice and you don't do a good job, that's obviously not going to earn you referrals. So Van's a great agent. And then they just systematically stay in touch with people and those conversions work out, right? So, thanks, Van, for sharing. Thank you, Meny, for having us.
Thank you both. And if you have something out in Boise, Stacie shared Van's information with the chat, so save the information. Guys, thank you so much for being here and for sharing. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Thanks, Stacie. Thanks,
Thank
Meny.
you.
Thank you both. That was Stacie States, original for the both West Side and Coastal regions, and Van States, the founder, leader of Front Porch Properties in Boise. That was awesome. Thank you, guys. Up next, we have Laura Peterson, our risk management in a couple of our offices, virtually for us, but luckily for Long Beach, she's right over there. Hey, Laura.
Hey, Laura. Good morning. Good morning. How is everybody today? Great to be back. I love Long Beach, and I used to spend so much time down here. Everybody thought I lived here, but actually,
Hey.
I'm back for a minute.
Laura.
Halley, so you might want to Laura, just step backwards just a little bit so we can see you. Right over there, and we can hear you and see you. So we want to share you with everybody. So good to have you. Thanks for being here. I know that we have a few slides that you want to go over. So there you have it, Laura. Go for it.
Thank you, Meny. Thank you very much. So my name is Laura Peterson. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for Real Estate Risk Management. We handle all of your legal services. I've worked with many of you for many, many years. I've been with RERM since 1995. And in addition to being the Chief Operating Officer, I'm also a real estate mediator. I specialize in real estate disputes after the close of escrow. I also serve as a mediator at the Superior Court. Currently, we are providing services in California, Arizona, Hawaii, Nevada, and Oregon. I am expanding. My goal was to get to Texas. I just opened in Texas. My goal is to take our company nationwide because I believe we have the resolutions for your legal problems. Now, normally I go over your benefits, but today when I was talking with Meny earlier, I really want to talk to you about some hot topics that our panel of attorneys are telling us the agents need to be aware of, because this is what's coming. This is what's currently going on. So Meny, if we can go to the first slide. Wave of coronavirus lawsuits. Okay, I've already had agents that have been brought into lawsuits over not having the buyer signing the PED form. Went to the house and they were exposed to coronavirus and had to be isolated for 2 weeks. The DRE was notified. They go out and they get these really bad attorneys who all they want to do is go after your E&O insurance. E&O is very expensive. You never want anything to hit your E&O, which is why you need to make sure that when you have questions about something, you're asking questions. I promise you will never be penalized for using our service. I want you to use our service. I have agents that tell me all the time, Laura, I love to talk to you, but I hate to call you. And I'm okay with that, because I know when you're calling me, a lot of times you're having problems. But before it reaches what happened to this agent, please make sure you're reaching out to us, because the wave coronavirus lawsuits is going to happen. Because of housing prices up and people spending hundreds of thousands of dollars more over asking. Eventually, when coronavirus all goes down and it's great, we're reopening and all that, those lawyers are going to be coming out and they're going to try to find plaintiffs that were exposed in some way, shape, or form during a real estate transaction. So please make sure all of your files are in order. Your notes are in order. Attorneys tell me all the time, have the agents be more detailed on their notes. Keep timelines of events. That is what helps the attorneys defend you in these actions. Next slide, please. Listing agent forgot to disclose a death. The listing agent was also the seller of the property. They sold the house that their son was living in, and he passed away in the house a couple of months before they listed the property. Listing agent and his wife were retiring to Arizona, so they wanted to sell the house. They ended up selling the house to a police officer who bought the house, was sitting there, and all of a sudden, Department of Justice comes in. They're looking for the son who was on a violation of the registered sex offenders list. Police officers started investigating, come to find out the son had died in the house and he wasn't disclosed it. When I contacted the agents to say, hey, what happened? They go, oh, we forgot to check that box on the SPQ. Okay, real estate agents, I mean, you're held to a higher standard, you know better. So please, even when you're working on your own transactions, be even more studious and cautious about what you're putting in there. Disclose, disclose, and disclose again. Because the retired couple that moved to Arizona, they ended up paying the buyer $125,000 in exchange for a settlement. This just happened a few months ago. So, next slide, please. Okay, most common DRE violations. We did some research. I reached out to a bunch of my different attorneys, and they said, hey, these are the things that are going on. Trust fund violations, brokers failing to supervise, unlicensed activities. That's huge. That's getting a lot of DRE audits right now. Misrepresentation activities. If you tell someone something about the property, then, and it's not factual, that's misrepresentation. That can get you in trouble with the DRE. Real estate risk management attorneys are here to defend you if the DRE files an accusation or a complaint against you. If the DRE calls you, please, whatever you do, stop and say, thank you for calling me. Can I get your name, your number, and myself and my broker of record are going to be returning your call. Then you call us. We have you consult with the attorney, and most likely your broker, yourself, and the attorney are going to be returning the call to the DRE, because the DRE isn't calling you to say, hey, great job, you're doing really well. They're there because they're investigating you, okay? And if they investigate you, they are going to find something, just like the IRS or the state. They will find something. They'll keep looking and looking and looking until they do. Next slide, please. MLS. When we get homeowners after the close of escrow that come to us for mediation services, 9 out of 10 of them come with a copy of the MLS. Well, it says here that the house is on sewer when it's actually on septic. I feel the agent is wrong. Okay, so we always like to add additional information to the MLS. MLS needs to be signed off first by the seller. Show the seller the MLS. Have them, yes, I've read and reviewed this and approved this. Second, put in your notes, information listed has not been verified. Buyer to investigate property to fully satisfy themselves on the condition of the property before the close of escrow. This MLS information is not considered part of the disclosures for the property listed. Now, this is just an added layer of protection. Is this a get out of jail free card? No, but it's advising the buyers, hey, you need to go check things out. Just don't take this advertisement and say, okay, this is the disclosure for the property, and think that you don't have to do your investigations. Also, I know that there's a town around here called Rossmore, and there are a lot of sewer problems in the town of Rossmore. We get a lot of cases out of that area. So if your client is buying a house there or you're listing a house there, highly recommend that they have the scoping done in the sewer lines, because the tree roots are growing into those lines, and we've had more and more cases for that area. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, solar provider isn't financing the loan. This is a really high volume. We've probably gotten about 12 of these in the last month. So a seller has the solar put on the property. Okay, great, they have it on there, but they finance it with somebody else. But the seller forgets to tell the listing agent, hey, the financing is with somebody else, that needs to get paid. The buyer needs to assume that. So the buyer assumes the solar contract, but not the financing contract. So we have created advisories for you as the agents to utilize, especially when solar is being in the contracts. We want to make sure that we provide the buyer with all the information. And if your seller does have solar, ask them, who did you finance that with? Is it with Solar City? Or, oh, no, it's with my private bank. Okay, so they want them to take over the loan, or do you want it to just be paid off in the sale? It's up to the seller, but make sure that all of that information is listed out. Now, your office should have copies of all of our advisories. If not, I'll make sure that they're resent so you have them. Again, Meny, thank you so much for having me here today. I feel like I'm coming back home. I love it down here. And if any of you have questions, please feel free to call the office. Remember that your buyers and sellers also have services with us, and we want to be here for you and for them. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Laura. always good pointers. In the team meeting follow-up email later today, I'm going to add that those slides. And if you look at the chat, you have the language that Laura shared with us for the MLS, so you can copy that as well. Thank you, Laura, as always. And thank you for coming down here from Sacramento.
All right.
We're going to taste that. Up next, Rich, our broker, let's see what you have. If you have any updates for us, any input.
Excuse me. Yes, I actually have a question for Laura. Because this came up recently, an agent, there were deaths on the property, and I advised her that you don't have to be specific about the deaths. If it's exactly how the person died, unless it's under unusual circumstances, that's correct, is it not? I mean, yes. We don't have to. You
don't have to go into.
You just have to say there was a death within the last 3 years.
Yes, and then you don't have to go into the gory details. If it is a gory detail, talk to the attorneys. Let the seller talk to the attorneys on finding the best way to disclose that for the least impact on the transaction.
Right, right. You know, I mean, if, you know, somebody, you know, passed away because of old age, or they had an illness in the house, I mean, that's sufficient. You don't really, I just wanted to clarify that to a lot of agents who have asked me that. So thank you for.
Rich, and just to add, thank you for bringing that, because it comes up quite often. However, on the opposite, right, if it was an unusual circumstance, like a crime,
Yes.
whatever, then most likely you want to, you know, bring more information.
Absolutely, absolutely, yes. So I do have a couple of things I want to bring up quickly. I've been getting a lot of sellers excluding from the MLS forms to sign weeks, maybe months after the listing has been written. I want to remind everybody that those have to be done at the same time. I know that for those agents who are in CRMLS, you don't have to supply the paperwork, but you just have to register it. But the MLS at any time can ask for that paperwork. So if you're going to exclude a listing from the MLS, it needs to be excluded at the time the listing agreement is signed. And that paperwork needs to go together, because ChrisNet, you can still register the listing in ChrisNet, but they also require the paperwork to be sent to the MLS. It needs the SELM, and the first and the last page of the listing agreement must be sent to the MLS in order to exclude it from the MLS. And that's the same for the MLS or CLOP. So remember that. Speaking about paperwork, we're getting on all across the board on all the offices. People, agents they want their checks, but there's no paperwork in the system. I want to remind you that it's a DRE regulation that we have that paperwork in the office within 2 business days of the signing of that paperwork. So if you take a listing within 2 business days, that needs to be uploaded into Command. If you have a purchase agreement and you're using a TC, you should be instructing your TC that within 2 business days of that being a fully executed contract, that needs to be given to the office and uploaded into Command. So we need that paperwork. If ever I was audited, then they wanted to see paperwork on a transaction. I can't say, oh, let me get that to you in a day or 2. No, I need to produce that paperwork because usually they're sitting in another office in the office. So please, go ahead.
No, just to make a point, Rich, thank you for bringing this up. 2 things. Number one, just for you guys to know, I'm not going to name specific companies. There are a lot out there, but some other companies, it takes a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks to get their check. Doesn't matter even if your file was fully compliant. That's just the process is. So we're big on compliance, not to annoy you or harassing you. Number one, to keep you safe. Number 2, you are a realtor, right? I mean, you actually even paying to be a realtor. So you should abide by the rules and the level of professionalism that's part of them, and to protect your license and our license, right? And of course your clients. Lastly, that's what we enrolled, or very slowly, softly, Pacific TC. We have control on the TC's quality and the work with the MCAs, and slowly but surely we have once again better quality control. So just FYI, thanks, Rich.
Yes, yes. One more thing about paperwork. You know, all of my offices have this policy. You know, you may not be aware of it, but especially in this market, if you have multiple offers and one of those offers is written by you, the listing agent, there needs to be another set of eyes on that paperwork. We're not Coldwell Banker who takes the transaction away from you. We just want somebody in management to look at all of the offers to say that somebody else looked at all these offers. We're not going to tell you your seller can't accept your offer, because it may very well be the best offer because of what else you're doing. It's just for your protection and for our protection. I've been on the grievance committee for years and years, and I can't tell you how many grievances have come through saying the listing agent took their own offer over mine. It's so in order for you to protect you, once again, just have somebody else, your office manager, if you want me to look at them, anybody to have a look at them. And one final thing really quickly, coming up on July 1st, there's a new law that's coming into effect. It's the defensible space fire hardening. We had that CAR form, the fire hardening disclosure and advisory, which is now replaced by the fire hardening and defensible space advisory, because that starting July 1st, the defensible space part of this legislation kicks in. And what this does is, if this property is in a very high or high risk area, this has to be disclosed. It becomes just like the TDS. It becomes it's possible that a sale could be rescinded if this is not done correctly. And to go over this form, my next class is devoted entirely to this form, just so that we're all ready for July 1st. And my next class is the 23rd of June. So you all should be tuning into that class. I'm going to go over the form. I will send out a Q&A later today or possibly tomorrow that CAR has put out specifically about this form, because it's really important that this is used correctly. And I'm making it a required form, even if it isn't in a high or very high area, just so that we have it in our system. And it could be an advisory at that point. Okay.
Good job, Rich. And just to make a point, super important, because looking in the future, if and when, that's definitely will be taken advantage by insurance companies or what have you, right? And we see many areas that we live in, let's say Calabasas area market mostly, etc., Brentwood, all those fires, right? And of course other areas. So don't be the agent that because you missed this specific page or document, then your client won't be able to compensation or insurance or whatever it is. Just make sure. And if you think that Rich trying to confuse us with this form, most likely, and just get the attention away from the P, right? So thanks, Rich.
Which I hear a rumor that once the 15th happens, the P goes away. Don't keep me to that, but I heard that rumor. So
let me text Houston for a second. Just make sure that we're still with that on the timeline. Rich Mizani, thanks as always. Always good insight, things that we need to know. So Halley, you have this really cool shirt that I have as well. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, happy Pride Month from all of your leadership here at KW Coastal. And then of course, Calabasas and West Side. Most people don't know that Keller Williams actually has a support system here for LGBTQIA+ realtors, and that's actually called the KW Rainbow Network, Referral Network. So obviously we advocate and fight for the fair and equal access of home ownership, believing that it's a universal right. We all take that oath and a vow when we become realtors, and so this is a great way for us to be able to commune together. So over this last year, there were 3,250 referrals shared between the KW network of those who have joined the Rainbow Network. That was almost $685 million in referral volume. and 1,500 members that we gave this over this last year. So if you guys want to join the KW Referral Network, it's completely free. We have education, we have networking events that we're doing via Zoom, but it's something that we want to share with you because it is an important part of our message here. So you guys can actually scan the, sorry, I'm reading all these little texting chats that keep coming up. Scan the QR code down at the bottom, and it'll actually take you directly to the KW Referral Network, Rainbow Network website. So again, happy Pride. We're here for you to support you and celebrate you no matter who you are, what you identify with. We want to help you grow and support your business.
Thanks, Halley. And I put it on the chat, the link to the website as well. So you can just click on that. Thanks for sharing and promoting that in our offices. Stephanie, what do we have going on this week, this month? Stephanie is muted.
Yep, and we have the flashing TVs too, so it makes it a little difficult. So, which one do I want to look at? As you know, we always have a very complete and comprehensive calendar. So the rest of this week, you want to make sure you jump in with our KW Masterminds tomorrow at 2. But look, don't let me get away with not telling you what's happening today. So at 2 o'clock, we have Meny, right, with environmental risk concerns, her NHD class. So make sure you hop into that one. And at 5 o'clock, we have our mentee coaching session. So for all of those that are relatively new in the business, please make sure that you jump in this evening at 5. And then our mastermind tomorrow at 2. And then Halley has live in person her listing presentation practice. So guys, I recommend that you guys are always practicing your trade, right? Sharpening the axe. So in the coastal people, definitely stop in that one. So as always, make sure you check out our lovely calendar and engage.
Yeah, and the cool thing about what we do, right now we actually all teamed up together in full collaboration between the 4 offices, along with South Bay, West Side, Calabasas. We're going to have another one joining us maybe next month as well, another office. So you have so many resources and access to amazing people who share, right? Share the practice, share the concepts, share the trade, whatever it is. And we're slowly doing more of that live in person. So Halley's tomorrow at 3 p.m. It's not going to be over Zoom. It's going to be live, right, Halley? Or is it Zoom as well?
No, it is only live. Yeah, only in the office. And again, we're going to have the top producing agent come in and literally give their listing presentation. This is the second week we've done it, third week we've done this. And thank you guys for sharing. It's a great way for you to practice. But again, this is the time that you can come in and actually see people role play what their listing presentation's like. Yeah, and we're going to have Lena, San Miguelina in our office over here in about 2 weeks, a week and a half or so, doing the same thing. And I forgot where Calabasas is not confirmed yet. You're going to have a couple of people too. So slowly but surely, but if you happen to be in any of those other areas, you know, feel like just driving down to the beach area or whatever, so you have a reason, a good reason why to do so. Also, just to point, you're going to see more of those, like in Friday, 1:30 p.m., those webinars. The MLSs, various MLSs, we subscribe to at least like half a dozen different MLSs. So, you know, if you're using the MLS, the West Side or Crescent Valley, Sierra MLS, other offices, look what's appropriate for you, even though some of those classes are good to learn from regardless to what MLS you're using, because it's kind of cross-training as well. So pay attention to that. Saturday, we have a hike or a walk, oceanfront in Santa Monica. Wait for the emails and the texts. Hey, Meny, really quick, I just want to bring to everyone's attention, it's for Monday technically, but we do have that RERM session Monday at 1. I just want to plug that, especially since you guys have had questions about what Laura was speaking about. So make sure you guys attend. Again, it's coming on this Monday.
And that is actually by one of the attorneys that's going to be talking about eviction in the state of California. So it's really good.
Eviction.
Q&A. And please ask questions when you're on those. That's the biggest thing that the attorneys are asking for. So please.
Yeah, we collaborate with Laura's team, the RERM, the risk management. only once a month class on a Monday, usually at the second or the third Monday of the month. And she brings amazing speakers. So, definitely jump in and ask those questions. Thank you for pointing that. Energy today at 2 o'clock, you mentioned that. We have a session also today at 11:30 a.m. Right after the team meeting about Woodland Voice, about leads and cold calls. And tomorrow, 2 p.m., I'm going to brainstorm with Philip, Nina out of the Calabasas office. Actually, I'm going to be there physically. I'm going to have fun. I'm not sure if they're going to join me physically. Hopefully, Philip, Nina, mark your calendars. Or over Zoom as well. We'll talk about social media because those guys do an amazing work. So just to share some insight about that. Stephanie?
Hello again. So we have our book club on June 28th, the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So we do it live and via Zoom, but I'm thinking about taking Halley's lead and just doing it live just to get everyone's booties in the chair. So just make sure that you read this book. If you need to do the Cliff Notes version, just come and participate. We always have a great time and we learn a lot. There's a lot of golden nuggets out of these things. So
and this month,
it's being hosted by Calabasas this month.
Yeah, this month is at the Calabasas office, same area that you see on the screen over there. So or at the lounge. Not sure where they're going to do it. So please feel free to participate or online as well. I mentioned the walk on Saturday, 9 a.m. Join me and everybody else. We have a few more minutes. Are you guys ready to do the Price is Right? Yay! Yay! And if you win, if you're right, you win something. 10,000 virtual points. All right, let's see. I mean, last time Calabasas were kind of crushing it, right? With the Price is Right. We pick like a property in a different market share. We have 4 that we work out of, at least in those meetings. So let's see if you can kind of get it right. Right? Let's see. The first one, 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,400 square feet in Cheviot Hills. It's here in LA. What do you think this beauty sold for? $699. Cheviot Hills, guys. That's
$925, Meny. $925. That's where you're gonna go still. $925. Go once. 1-4.
You can also put in the chat if you want to have fun with this. Whoever's the voice.
I'll say that. 1.2, someone else said.
1.4. Okay. I mean, not bad. Pretty close.
And what is it? Crazy.
So, someone was cheating because she's on the chat and she sold this property. I'm like, wow, she nailed it, right? Give it to Panya. Because 1.625, I mean, that's incredible price for that 1,400 square feet in the unbelievable. Yeah. It came with a free 1-year home warranty, by the way. So, Panya, good job. Great job. And she knows the price. That's the Lakewood, Long Beach. Come on, you can do it. Hey, if it's your listing, you cannot guess. Okay, 2,200 square feet in Lakewood. 22. What do you think this one sold for?
1.2. 1.2.
So 950.
Yeah. It's a split.
Jacoba says 700, and Jennifer Boyd says 850. Oh, you guys kind of like in between, very close.
900.
Alan Tubi 800.
Not 800.
825. Okay, I give it to Alan Tubi from Calabasas. He said 800 is the closest with 780.
That's
sold
it?
by Alison Van Wig.
That's great. We were totally off.
That was negotiations, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you guessed it right, congratulations. So that was in the Lakewood, Long Beach area. That's in Calabasas. Okay, four bedroom guy in Calabasas. Check it out. 4 bed, 5 bath, 5,100 square feet. What do you think this view is worth? 5,000 square feet.
2.5.
3 million. How much you think this view sold for? 3.5. 4.5.
3.2.
3.42. Okay. You guys are not too far from this. So this one sold by Doug Pitts for 3.9. 3.9. Yeah. Marcia said 4.2, so she was kind of close. And Jennifer Boyd says 4. Yes, Jennifer, good job. She was the closest. Jennifer Boyd out of the Long Beach office. Good job. 3.9. Doug Pitts crushed it. By the way, we're gonna feature him in one of our sessions, the producers club soon. Once we're gonna launch the third quarter, you're gonna hear from Doug. Listen to this. You're gonna hear from Doug how to earn 1 million commissions in 6 months. How about that? Doug, you're amazing. Last one in Carson, out of the South Bay office. 3 bed, 4 bath for this townhouse, 1,700 square feet in Carson. How much you think this one went for?
770.
Hey, Danwood over here. What do you have?
760.
760.
775?
Yeah.
725, 720, 775. Wait, someone said 775. Okay, no, sorry. I thought you said right. No. 850. Someone said 725, right? That was I think the closest. So yeah, well, close enough by Gary Nix, 735.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
You guys not that off from the prices just because they still a little bit overselling, even though the next team meeting, by the way, we're going to talk more of an analysis of what the trend is. There's a somewhat of a slowdown. You can judge it by the days on market and price improvements, price reductions, or what have you. Escrows that keep falling, buyers that not being able to close because of appraisal issues, etc. So more of that in the next team meeting in 2 weeks from now. Stephanie, Halley, anything else to add?
Not
Nope.
here.
That's it. Keep up the good work, everyone. Reach out to your leadership. We're here to support you. If you need and have questions on price improvements, pricing, whatever that is, reach out to us. We're here for you.
Okay, everybody. Thanks again. Thanks for our guests, Stacie States, Van States. Lauren, thank you so much for our risk management. Everybody, thanks for being here and keep doing a good job and stay busy and healthy. Rich, thanks again.
Great
Bye.
meeting. I hope to see all of you at 2 o'clock today for my class.